This week we are celebrating Chamber Music Hawaii's 24-25 season that's about to start up. And Chris Cabrera, the general manager of Chamber Music Hawaii, is here. Thank you for coming in, Chris.
Thanks, Shireen. Thanks for having me.
Well, so the catalog of the program has just been mailed out. Is that correct?
It is, yeah. And we have some beautiful artwork, too, that goes along with each of those concert programs that I think really exemplify a little bit of the artistic and musical spirit behind each of those programs.
Yeah, if someone didn't get a Chamber Music Hawaii mailing, how can they find all the information and see the beautiful art?
Yeah, sure. If you go to our website at chambermusichawaii.org, you can subscribe to our e-newsletter there, and you can also find a copy of our digital brochure for the season. And you can always also look at the individual concert listings on the website.
It is actually gorgeous to look at. I wanted to print it out, but we're a nonprofit, so we have a black and white printer. But it is really a lovely program and art that goes with it. Right now people can subscribe to the season, and you're having a sale right now, right?
Right, we are having a sale, yeah. So we're currently selling our subscription packages. We have our Blue Note Premium subscription package, which includes all 12 of our different programs for the season, including 2 performances at Blue Note Hawaii. And then we also have our season subscription, which encompasses all 10 of the concerts that are and excludes the Blue Note concerts.
Uh-huh. And then, and so you can also get a pack of 4 concerts?
Yeah, you can do a flex package for 4 tickets to any of our concerts, and they don't have to be necessarily 4 different concerts. They can be 1 concert, and you go along with 3 friends, and so you buy a 4-ticket package. And that'll be at a discount of about 10%, and that encompasses you can use that for any of our concerts except for the Blue Note concerts, our special concerts, including the general silent film concert in May, and then also it excludes the John Nakamatsu concert on October 19th at Doris Duke.
Yesterday, Jim Moffitt was on the program to kick off this Chamber Music Hawaii 101 week. And we talked about John Nakamatsu, and also we talked about the Mozart Grand Partita and the Beethoven Fest. Those are all incredible programs. What else? It was really fun, I would imagine, putting the season together. What else is on the schedule that you're excited about?
Yeah, so the programs that I'm excited about and hoping that we can kind of dive into today are September program. Our September program is called American Echoes, which features Treysamble, which is just our own coined term for the organization, which encompasses the mixed instrumentation of all 3 ensembles, specifically drawing individual musicians from Galliard String Quartet, Honolulu Brass Quintet, and then Spring Wind Quintet. And that program's really great. It focuses on Latin American composers during the first half of the 20th century and really highlights 4 main composers that really kind of catapulted chamber music in that early 20th century period, where before these composers, most of the chamber music repertoire that a lot of the Latin American composers were writing was specifically for individual voices and strings, a lot of guitar music. But we started to see with the composers Villalobos, Huertas, Ginastera, and Chavez, a lot more use of the string quartet in particular, but then also these different combinations of winds, and then even some incidental music and different mixed instrumentation stuff like the Huertas for the Ocho por Radio, which is 8 musicians for radio, specifically written for radio.
And that was Ocho por Radio, and that was brought in by Chris Cabrera, our guest from Chamber Music Hawaii. I love the name, and it should be played on the radio more often, right? So this is going to be on the concert on September 7th and 8th, and that is with Tres Sambos, so it's all 3 of the groups.
Yeah, and specifically this program doesn't rely much on our brass quintet. We do have some trumpets in the Huertas, but for the most part, we're using the majority of the winds and then the string quartet. So this program heavily features the spring winds and then the Galliard string quartet.
Nice. And then what else are you excited about this season?
Yeah, one of the kind of jumping ahead in the season, looking at March's program, I'm really excited about that. Honolulu Brass Quintet Dances Around the World. And we also have, again, some beautiful artwork there, and hope you can check it out on our website at chambermusichawaii.org. And that program really is... there's not much to say about it. The title kind of speaks for itself. It's Dances Around the World. It features the brass quintet and pieces that are reminiscent of dances around the world. So we have Shostakovich's Jazz Suite No. 1. We have Marquez's Danson No. 2, which is a very popular piece. It's an arrangement for brass quintet. Obviously, the original was written for orchestra. And then we also have a Michael Tilson Thomas piece called Street Song. And MTT obviously was the former music director of the San Francisco Symphony. And I'm originally from San Francisco, so some of these pieces, specifically the Marquez and then the Michael Tilson Thomas piece, really speak to me. And I had a chance to talk with actually our newest member of the Honolulu Brass Quintet, Gabe Cruz, who's our new trombonist, and he is also from the Bay Area. He's originally from Oakland, and we were kind of chatting about this program, and really what it reminds us of the Bay Area and the music that we heard growing up in MTT and the Symphony's Keeping Score series.
And let's see. So you have a new trombonist in the brass. And you're also a musician. You're a percussionist. Will you be joining in the Marquez?
I won't. No, not on this program.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, this program specifically will just have the brass quintet. But some of our other programs that we've snuck some percussion into the repertoire for some of the programs are definitely the American Echoes, which is that September program. The Huertas has some percussion in it, some beautiful maraca playing, actually. And also looking at the holiday concerts, holiday brass, December 21st at the Cathedral of St. Andrews. That concert is actually the concert that originally introduced me to chamber music Hawaii. I moved out here in the fall of 2017 to join the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra as their associate principal timpanist and section percussionist. And one of my first gigs outside of the symphony was with CMH playing that annual holiday brass concert.
Wow. And now you run the place.
I do, yes. Sometimes things come full circle, I guess.
Well, what should we listen to? I have some holiday brass or Marquez. What would you like to hear?
Oh, I think we have to go with the Marquez.
Danzon 2 sounds great on any instrument. It's just one of those pieces. It's so fun, and it will be part of Chamber Music Hawaii's concert on March 22nd and 23rd. The season has been announced, and you can find it at chambermusichawaii.org. Chris Cabrera, the general manager of Chamber Music Hawaii, is here, and I'm so glad that you mentioned the Marquez, because it's one of my favorites, and I'm looking forward to hearing the Shostakovich also on that program, the jazz suite.
Yeah, that's a great piece, and you wouldn't think that a lot of this program are arrangements. Some of them are originally written for brass quintet, but that's kind of the nature of the ensemble. It's somewhat limited in repertoire when you compare it to one of the other standard chamber ensemble configurations, like the string quartet, and that's the case with the wind quintets as well. It's more limited, but there's some beautiful arrangements that you can borrow from the orchestral repertoire for these concerts, and that's also kind of what we're doing with some of our other brass programs, like looking at our Oktoberfest concert on the 10th at Blue Note Hawaii. I know we'll talk about that later on in the week, but that also will feature a lot of arrangements of very famous Beethoven compositions, specifically arranged for brass quintet.
And brass quintet just sounds like they're having more fun than everyone else. Why is that?
Well, they do, and most of the members too are good friends of mine. And we talked about one of our newest members, the trombonist Gabe Cruz, who took over for longtime member Jason Beierlotzer. But we also got a new trumpet player in the brass quintet, Casey Tamanaha, and both of these musicians are regular members of the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra, but they're also members of the Royal Hawaiian Band. So they bring a really diverse breadth of repertoire to the chamber music, collective, and it really allows us to explore different types of programs where there might be more jazz influence in some of their Royal Hawaiian Band tunes that they regularly play, which then creeps into something like our HBQ Christmas, which is on December 16th at the Blue Note Hawaii, which is somewhat reminiscent of our December 21st concert, but very different in that that's just going to be the quintet playing popular holiday music, rather than what generally our St. Andrew's concert is a much bigger brass ensemble. We generally have about 14 brass instruments on stage with the Orvis Scholars Choir at the Cathedral of St. Andrews, in addition to a timpanist and a percussionist.
So it's kind of that sacred and profane kind of holiday festivities.
Exactly. Yeah, we do a lot of Gabrielli and other things like that, Renaissance, and really exploring kind of the timeline of different classics as it relates to holiday Christmas music.
So the ensembles choose the programs themselves, or do you choose what goes on the program?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're very fortunate that Chamber Music Hawaii is very much so run by musicians for musicians, and so the artistic onus of the organization really is on the individual musicians and the ensembles themselves. And so what we generally do is we come together, we talk story, we collaborate, we throw out ideas of different types of programs we'd like to see, and through those conversations we start to kind of develop a theme around the whole season, a theme around different programs, and that's kind of how our season ends up coming to be.
I think that's really healthy, actually, because now not only is the arts life in Hawaii balanced between the Hawaii Symphony, the Royal Hawaiian Band, and Chamber Music Hawaii, but the artist's life is balanced the way that they see fit for our community. And yesterday, Jim Moffitt was saying how the Beethoven Fest was kind of a companion to the HSO Beethovens. And I think that's something that's so unique and lovely about Chamber Music Hawaii, how it really is part of our community here in Hawaii. It's local musicians, yeah?
Yeah, all local musicians, and that's what we do. Chamber Music Hawaii presents our 3 resident ensembles, and that's what it's all about.
Well, have a wonderful season, and you'll be back later in the week?
I will, yes.